nights. Anywhere with you feels right. Anywhere with you feels like Paris in the rain, Paris in the rain. When I'm with you, when I'm with you, Paris in the rain, Paris in the rain.
Hey guys, my name is Tiffany and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see in the title of this video, I'm going to be having a serious conversation with you guys. And before you guys freak out, please make sure to watch this video completely before making any assumptions or anything like that in the comments, okay? So I'm just gonna have a sit down chat with you guys and kind of go over what made me come to this decision. But before I get started on that, I kind of want to give those who are new to my channel a little bit of background history about me. So when I was in high school, my last senior year, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my career. And nursing honestly didn't pop up in my head until much later on. And it was actually through volunteering with one of my friends in high school that kind of made me want to pursue nursing, because I thought to myself that this is probably something that I might be good at, where I love helping other people. And so being able to work directly with others, and in that volunteer activity we were doing, we were teaching art to disabled children, and it made me have that love for wanting to give back to others and helping other people and just having that deeper connection. So that's what made me pursue nursing. But actually for a long time I wanted to become a teacher, and I wanted to be a middle school teacher, in fact. So I've always loved teaching, and teaching has been a passion of mine, and I've kind of been pushing off just because I wasn't sure whether or not that's something I wanted to pursue. And I kind of thought that maybe realistically, and just being that Asian daughter, especially the fact that I'm the oldest, I thought it would probably be something more realistic for me to pursue something in healthcare. And so I'm just being honest about that. And that's kind of why I ended up pursuing the nursing route, just seeing if maybe something like nursing would probably be a better fit for me. So I ended up pursuing nursing, and I don't regret it at all. Of course, I'm still an active nurse. And so of course I went to nursing school, and I did 4 years after I graduated high school, and went through the nursing program, got my bachelor's, and then of course passed the NCLEX and became a registered nurse. And what made me want to pursue NICU compared to any other unit is I just love working with babies. And so it was through my maternity rotation, which is during my 3rd year of nursing school, where we got to spend a few days in the NICU, and I was able to spend 2 days in it where I didn't really actually get to do much. I didn't do a lot of hands-on skills or anything like that. I think what made me want to continue pursuing this unit is just that I felt some kind of innate connection to these babies, and I wanted to help them, especially due to the fact that they can't talk or voice their pain and where it's hurting and things like that. And I wanted to be an advocate for them. So it made me want to do my senior preceptorship. So of course, in my last semester of nursing school, we were actually very lucky to be able to choose what unit we wanted to work in, and so I decided to do mine in the NICU. So I've been a NICU nurse now for almost 6 years now, and so NICU was just one of those things that I knew was my calling, and I wanted to do everything possible to get it. And so of course, when I was doing my job hunting, I searched for NICU in any possible location, whether that meant I had to move away. And I ended up moving 3 hours away from home to get my first new grad job in the NICU, and that's where I gained all of my NICU experience. And so it was truly a wonderful experience. I've done many videos on that already, so make sure to check it out in the cards above. But yeah, so I've been working as a NICU nurse for almost 6 years now. It's a little over 5 years. And it made me consider a lot of things about whether or not bedside nursing is something I wanted to do for the rest of my career. And for right now, I will say that I still very much love it. But I'm going to admit to you guys that bedside nursing can take a toll. And even though as much as I love it so much, in the future, I really don't know if this is something I want to continue doing. Of course, I still love hands-on care and things like that, but I actually decided to possibly pursue a different route due to the fact that maybe in the future I might want to consider something else. So this is where the main topic of this video is going to be focused on, and why I potentially want to leave bedside. So before you guys freak out, I'm not going to be leaving bedside anytime soon, but I do plan on possibly in the future. Now, before I go into too much detail about that, I just want to share with you guys that, you know, there are going to be times in your career where you're going to consider other options that works best for you. And right now, I love the flexibility of being able to work 3 shifts and having 4 days off and having a lot of flexibility to pursue other interests outside of work. And of course, being able to travel, something that I'm very interested in doing on my free time. So I've been enjoying that freedom a lot, and I am not married. I do not have kids right now. And so I have a lot of freedom to do so where I don't have responsibilities. But I also am the type of person that is a future thinker, where I like to plan ahead in my life. And whether that means I'm planning far, far in advance, and in this case, this is one of those times. So right now, due to the fact, like I mentioned, that I don't have any responsibilities, I thought maybe it would be a good time for me to pursue wanting to go back to school. Now, I'm one of those people where I actually did not like school growing up, and I didn't do well in school. That it actually deterred me away from wanting to go back for a very long time. So obviously I graduated school probably about 6 years ago now, actually exactly a little over 6 years. So it's been a while since I've been back to school, and it's been one of those things where I felt it was more of something that I felt pressured to do, seeing other people in my nursing cohort, of course, get their experiences, go back to school pretty quickly on in their career and pursuing other things with their advanced degree. Versus for me, I was kind of stagnant upon it just because I didn't know whether school is just something I wanted to do. Like I said, I'm not really great at it. School was just not one of my interests, and I didn't know whether it's something I wanted to do. But I felt like right now is the perfect time for me just because I don't have any responsibilities and I have a little bit more time to pursue doing an advanced degree rather than waiting further on into my life where I have other responsibilities to do, like having a family and kids and things like that. And then it becomes a lot harder and a lot more challenging. So yes, I am going back to school. I'm going to be pursuing my master's degree, so my MSN, and specifically in the nurse educator route. So I've done many videos on talking about what my interests were and what my plans were for the future, but I didn't really dig too much into it. And I've mentioned before in some videos where I talked about pursuing a CNS, which is a clinical nurse specialist, just because due to the fact that I love teaching and I thought the CNS role was something that was more fit for me. But after a lot of research, I ended up deciding that I wanted to pursue my master's in education instead. So I will do a separate video on that, comparing the differences between the two and what made me come to that decision. But for now, I just kind of want to talk about why I wanted to pursue this and why it means I might potentially leave Bedside. So of course, the program is going to be about 2 years long, and I'm still going to be working full time. So I'm still going to be working the bedside as well as doing my school work, and it's going to be all online. So that's going to make it a lot easier for me with my flexibility and me working night shift. I have a lot more freedom to be able to do classes online. So in the meantime, I'm going to be balancing both. So I am going to apologize in advance to you guys if I am not as consistent on social media, especially on my YouTube channel. Of course, I still love making videos and I still plan to do so, but I'm going to have a little bit more on my plate, so that may mean not as much consistency as I used to, where I'm uploading every single week. So please forgive me. But yeah, I feel like I know a lot of you guys who have been following me on my journey and loving NICU and kind of giving advice and information and help teach you guys more about this unit, which there's not a lot of information about. So that's kind of why I started this channel in the first place, wanting to teach more about NICU and of course wanting to teach more about nursing in general. So as you can see, I have a lot of passion for teaching and educating, and I thought it would be in my best interest to want to pursue an advanced degree in it and be more involved in the hospital in that kind of way. So I do still plan on working in a hospital, but as a nurse educator, it does mean that you will leave the bedside and you're not going to be more directly involved in patient care anymore like you used to. Being a nurse educator basically means you're going to be more involved in the hands-on skills teaching when it comes to teaching staff at the hospital, so all the nurses, as well as being able to be involved more directly in new grad programs and teaching and providing education for those types of programs. So that's where I am more interested in, just because I do love teaching. I love doing skills and hands-on teaching, and I've done a lot of videos where I teach you guys about NICU, and that's kind of really where my passion lays in. And I've always wanted to pursue something that involved education, and the fact that I can do both, where I can pursue my love for nursing and pursue wanting to be a teacher in the same career field, is truly amazing. And so that's kind of where I'm heading at. But being a nurse educator is not something I plan to do like tomorrow. And of course, it's not something that's going to be an instantaneous thing. Of course, I have to go through my program, which is about 2 years. And then I have to do a lot of being shadowed by someone else and doing preceptorship in it. And it's something that I plan on doing in the far future, not anywhere in the next few years. It's something where, like I said, I am a future planner, and this is something that I wanted to pursue further on into my career, but I thought right now would be the best time since I have more flexibility and no responsibilities. So this is kind of me prepping far in advance. And yeah, so this is kind of where I am in my life. And I'm still planning on working in the NICU even as a nurse educator. So I'm still not planning to quit this unit. I still very much love what I do and being involved in this patient population. So I will still be a NICU nurse, but I still will be more involved in the teaching aspect of it and helping to train and mold our new future nurse generation. So that's kind of where I want to be and what I want to be involved with. And of course, I still very much love bedside nursing, but you know, when it comes to that, there's a lot of inconsistency with scheduling. You know, every week my schedule changes all the time. I still work night shift. And so I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to scheduling. And right now it works for me, but I can see further on in the future when I do plan on having a family and kids and things like that, having that inconsistency can be a little bit hard and challenging when it comes to wanting to raise a family. So being a nurse educator does mean that I will have a more structured schedule where I possibly will be working just a regular everyday person schedule, Monday to Fridays, 9 to 5 type of deal. So it's going to be like that kind of situation versus right now, my schedule changes every single week. I do 12-hour shifts, and it's great for the flexibility of wanting to pursue other things and traveling, and it's nice with that. But in the future, when you do have a family, I feel like consistency is more key to just maintaining that kind of balance for your life. And so it's also something that comes along with being a nurse educator, where that will give me more structure to my life. And it's something, like I said, in the far future that I do plan on, but right now that's kind of where I'm focusing on. So I know this is probably a long video and me rambling on and on, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from and how I came to this point in my life. So thank you so much for following me on my journey, and I really appreciate all your love and support and following me where I am now. And I appreciate all the kind words that you guys say to me. Really, this is something that I am truly passionate, the fact that I still do this outside of work, and that I love to teach and educate you guys more about this specialty, as well as teaching you more about nursing, because it is something that I am still very much passionate about. And then, like I mentioned before, the fact that I can combine two of my favorite things, which is teaching as well as nursing, into one career is truly the best of both worlds. So thank you so much for following my journey. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
'Cause anywhere with you feels right.